Hi dear students, this is the second part of the subject Advanced Energy Engineering. So in the first part we have discussed about the syllabus and what are the topics to study in this particular subject. Now in this presentation we will be moving on to the first module, that is concept of energy. We have to first discuss what is energy. So as a definition we know that energy is a quantitative property that must be transferred to an object in order to perform work on or to heat the object. So it is a particular quantity which is transferred to an object. So using that energy, what the system will do is it will either perform the work or it is utilized for the increasing temperature. Okay, that is what is happening by providing a energy. So definition of energy is a quantitative property that must be transferred to an object in order to perform work on or to heat the object. Now as I have already told, if we are providing some energy, the system will be usually doing some work. So the definition of work is also familiar to you. That is, work is defined as force into displacement along the direction of the force. So it is a product of force and the movement of the object along the direction of the force. That is what is known as the work. And work done per second is nothing but power. Okay. Now along with this, the concept of energy, we have to go through an important law, that is law of conservation of energy, and it states that the total amount of energy in a closed system remains a constant. And this is the soul of the law of conservation of energy, that says the total amount of energy in a system always remains constant. But in the other side, it says that it may change from one form to another. The conversion of the energy from one form to another is possible, but the total always should remain constant. The total remains a constant. That is what is the soul of the law of conservation of energy. And you might have used this law in lower semesters also while doing the numerical problems. Okay. Now moving on to the next one, that is unit of energy. This is very important. Usually in SI unit, the energy is expressed in terms of joule, or joule is simply 1 Newton meter. 1 Newton meter is known as joule. SI unit of the energy is joule. And the definition of joule is, it is equal to the energy transferred to an object when a force of 1 Newton acts on that object in the direction of its motion through a distance of 1 meter. So by definition of joule, what it means is we are providing some energy to a particular object. Some quantity of energy is being provided, so that energy exerts a unit force, that is 1 Newton of force is exerted on that object, and by using that force the object is moving a distance of 1 meter, or it is moving a unit distance. That is the definition of joule. Okay. Sometimes you might have seen the energy is expressed in terms of calorific value also. In the case of combustion, usually energy is something related to the fuels. So once the fuel is burnt, a unit mass of fuel is burnt, some energy is released. That is what is known as the calorific value. So that is heat capacity of that particular fuel. So if 1 kilogram of wood is burnt, some energy will be released, or some heat energy is released. That how much heat it can release by burning 1 unit mass or 1 kilogram of substance. That is what is known as the calorific value. But some other conditions also is there. It should be performed at a particular pressure as well as the normal condition, temperature, and all our other quantities also is to be specified along with this one. So calorific value is nothing but the heat produced by burning a particular mass of fluid or unit mass of fluid. That is the exact definition. So if the calorific value is more, means what happens? More energy is released by burning that particular fuel. If the calorific value less, means less energy only is produced. You can have a comparison between calorific value of wood as well as the calorific value of petrol. The calorific value of petrol is much high compared to the calorific value of the wood. Okay. So you can refer the value in the net. Now next topic is different forms of energy. What are the different forms of energy that we are using? First one is mechanical energy. We all know the two important form of mechanical energy is kinetic energy as well as the potential energy. That is the energy obtained either by the motion or by the position. Okay, if a particular body is raised to a particular height, then we can say that the body is having a potential energy, and if some force is exerted on a body, it will start moving, then the kinetic energy will be coming into picture. So these are the two important mechanical energies. Now comes second important form of energy is thermal or heat energy. Thermal or heat energy you will be knowing by burning or by the combustion. Some energy is released by the fuel. That is what is known as heat energy. Or due to the heat energy, what happens is the temperature of the system sometimes increases, or the thermal energy of the system is always increasing. Now comes the energy from the chemical reaction by the combination of two species. We can say that some chemical reaction is happening. In that times also some heat is released. So heat can be produced or energy is released during a chemical reaction also. Some chemical reaction requires energy, some will be releasing energy. Anyway, energy is related with the chemical reaction also. So that is another form of energy. Then comes electrical energy, that is very much familiar to you. Now comes the nuclear energy, energy derived from the nuclear reactions, fission reaction. That is what is known as the nuclear energy, and this is a very important one. If you can produce energy from the nuclear reactions in a controlled way, then it will be very advantageous, but it has some harmful effect also. So we have to deal with it. We have to carefully deal with this one, that is nuclear energy. Then comes electromagnetic energy, that is the energy produced from the electromagnetic radiation. That is solar energy and all is coming under this topic, that is electromagnetic energy. Radiation energy, all these are electromagnetic energy. Then comes the gravitational energy. The last one is the gravitational energy, energy between the celestial bodies. That is what is usually known as the gravitational energy. So tidal energy, wind energy, everything is as an effect of gravitational energy. So these are the different forms of energy that we are nowadays used for our purposes. So first one is mechanical energy, then comes thermal and heat energy, then third one chemical energy, electrical energy, nuclear energy, electromagnetic energy, and finally the gravitational. Anyway, as the syllabus goes on, we will be discussing in detail all these forms of energies. Next one is classification of energy. So there are a lot of classification for the energy, but we will be discussing only the important classification in this session. The first one is based on the nature of availability of energy, how it is available in the environment. Based on the nature of availability of the energy, it is primarily classified into primary resources as well as the secondary resources. Primary resources means it is either found or stored in nature. It is directly available from the nature. It is plenty available in the nature, directly available from the nature. There is no need to derive the energy. It is directly available. That types of energies are called primary resources. Okay. Examples of the primary resources are coal, solar, tidal, natural gas, etc., etc. All these are directly available from the nature. So this comes under the primary resources. Now comes the secondary resources. Secondary resources of energies are those energy which are derived from the primary resources. So we have to convert the primary resources available in the nature into some other forms of energy. That is what is known as the secondary or derived. Secondary means nothing but the form of energy derived from the primary resources. So the examples for the secondary resources are electrical energy from coal. So using the coal, we will be utilizing the heat energy of the coal while burning to produce the steam, and the steam is finally producing the rotating the turbines to produce the electricity. So actually the heat energy available in the coal is the primary resources. Heat energy available in the coal is converted into the electrical energy. So it is secondary. Electrical energy is nothing but the second converted or derived energy. So it is known as secondary resources. So electrical energy is an example. Hydrogen from the hydrolysis of water, etc. are the examples for secondary resources of energy. Now second classification is based on the traditional use. How traditionally it is being used. As we know, traditionally means by the from the early times itself, the human being is utilizing the energy. So initially they were mainly concentrated on the woods and all. Plenty of wood and all is available at that time. So there was no scarcity of fuel. Nowadays the situation has changed. It is very difficult to get the wood and all. So usually we will be going for some other source of energy. So conventional energy means they have been traditionally in use since a long time. They are using for a very long time. That is what is known as the conventional energy. The energy sources which are being used by the manhood for a very long time. From the birth itself they are using it. For centuries ago they are using all these types of energy. That is what is known as the conventional energy. The conventional energy, the categories coming under the conventional energies are coal, firewood, petroleum, natural gas, etc. All these are being used for a very long time back itself. Non-conventional means these types of energies are developed in the recent past only. The developments in the field of these energies are happening by the recently only the development happened. These types of energies are known as the non-conventional energy, and the solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, everything is coming under this non-conventional energy categories. See, the classification based on traditional use, that is conventional energy and non-conventional energy, is having a very much similarity with the next classification that we are telling, that is with the renewable energy and non-renewable source of energy. Almost these two are same, but this is based on the traditional use, how long we are using it. That is what is the main source for the classification of this one. If we are using the energy for a very long time back, then that types of energies comes on conventional energy, and recently developed energies are coming under the non-conventional energy system. Okay. Now, based on long-term availability, this is an important classification. Based on long-term availability, how long these sources of energies are available, that is an important question. See, the production rate of, you will be knowing the fossil fuels. So fossil fuels are digged out from the earth's surface. So what happens is, it requires a very long time to produce the fossil fuels. Thousands of years are required to produce fossil fuels. So but if you compare with the consumption rate of human being with the production rate of fossil fuels, the consumption rate is very high. So by year and year, the amount of fossil fuel available will be depleting. Okay, the quantity is getting lesser and lesser. So it is not able to meet the requirement of the human being right now. So that based on that category, it is classified as non-renewable and renewable energy based on long-term availability. If a fuel is available for a very long time, then we will classify it as renewable, or plenty of availability is there. If you use whatever we need, then also the amount of fuel will be left. That means it is categorized as renewable source of energy. If by consuming its rate is decreasing, or its availability is getting lesser and lesser, then we will call it as non-renewable. Renewable is not possible. That is what is the word meaning of non-renewable. It is not reproduced, or the energy, the time required to produce will be much large compared to the consumption time. Okay, that is what is the definition of non-renewable. Non-renewable means derived from finite and static stocks of energy. See, the stock of energy is finite and static. Very limited stock is only available, often exists in a fixed amount, and are consumed much faster than the nature can create them. We are consuming that energy sources much faster rate than the energy the earth can, the nature can recreate it. So consumption rate is much high compared to the recreation rate. That is what is known as the non-renewable energy, and the important fuels coming under this category is coal, oil, and fossil fuels. So next one is renewable energy. These are direct in nature but can be subsequently replenished. So plenty is available. Even if you take I think only very small fraction of these energies being utilized by the human being nowadays. Only 1%, 2%, 3%, something less than 10% only being utilized. The remaining is left as such. So it is availability is plenty. It will not deplete at all. Okay. So that types of energy is known as the renewable energy. So based on the depletion, these two classifications is coming, non-renewable and renewable, and the major renewable energies are solar, wind, tidal, biomass is also there. Everything is coming under this renewable source of energy. Okay, that is an important classification. Now comes the next classification, that is based on commercial application. How commercially the energy is being used. Based on that classification, it is classified as non-commercial energy sources and commercial energy sources. Non-commercial energy sources means commonly available and less expensive. That is what is the energy or the fuels that are commonly available but are very much less expensive. That types of fuels or energies are known as non-commercial energy sources. Usually wood, agro waste, animal dung, etc. are coming under this category, that is non-commercial energy sources. And commercial energy sources means fuels which are capital intensive. It is much more costlier than the non-conventional, and the reason is it has to be derived from using some processes for producing the energy. We require some processes. For that, some expense is there. That's why these are becoming expensive. So fuels which are capital intensive are known as the commercial energy sources. The main categories coming under this one is petroleum products, electricity, etc. You'll be knowing that to produce the electricity from the water, what requires is construction of dams and conversion of that kinetic energy into pressure energy. To rotate the turbines are required. Everything is so lot of processes are coming under this. So conversion of from basic to the energy source, it requires some processes which are expensive. That's why it is costlier than the non-commercial energy sources. Okay. Now the last classification is based on the origin. You will be knowing all these types of energies based on the origin. First one is fossil fuels energy. The energy available from the that we are getting from the fossil fuels are known as fossil fuel energy. So based on the origin from the fossil fuel, it is called fossil fuel energy. If the energy is derived from the nuclear reaction, then it is called nuclear energy. And if the energy is produced from the hydraulic energy, then it is called hydro energy, just like dams and all. Now comes the solar energy. If we are producing from the sunlight, then it is called solar energy. And the energy produced by utilizing the kinetic energy of the wind is known as the wind energy. And if the energy is produced from the agricultural waste and all, then it is known as biomass energy. Then comes the geothermal energy. Here in geothermal energy, we will be utilizing the temperature difference of the different layers of the earth. At the inner core we have higher temperature, and the outer core we are having lesser temperature. Then that temperature difference is utilized for producing energy. Then it is called geothermal energy. Usually some streams of water is coming from the inner core to the surface of the earth, which is very hot. That hot water can be utilized for producing energy. That is an example for geothermal energy. Then comes the tidal energy produced from the movement of the tides is known as the tidal energy. And the last one is the ocean thermal energy. Ocean thermal energy is similar to the geothermal energy here, except here we are utilizing the temperature difference of the water present in the ocean at the different levels. You see, if we go into the depth of the ocean, what happens is the temperature is less compared to this temperature at the surface of the ocean. So that temperature difference is being utilized for producing the energy. Then it is known as energy produced from that temperature difference is known as ocean thermal energy. Anyway, we will be discussing all this in the upcoming modules in detail. So just keep in mind that these are the different classifications. That is, first one is based on nature of availability. It is classified as primary resources. Then comes secondary resources. Based on traditional use, conventional energy, non-conventional energy. Based on long-term availability, it is non-renewable and renewable energy. Based on commercial application, it is non-commercial energy source and commercial energy source. And finally, based on the origin, these are the classifications. Okay. Now last one is sources of energy. Okay, what are the different sources of energy for India as well as the entire world? There are 6 sources of useful energy utilized by human being on planet Earth. They are, first one, the sun. First one is the major important source of energy that we are utilizing is the sun. The energy from the sun is the direct energy from the sun is thermal energy, and if you can convert it, we can convert that energy into electrical energy by the system developed by our engineers and all. So both thermal energy as well as electrical energy can be produced from the source of energy, that is sun. Okay. Now next important source of energy utilized is geothermal energy from cooling, chemical reactions and radioactive decay in the earth. So this is geothermal energy produced from cooling, either from the temperature difference, sometimes from the chemical reactions inside the earth. Some heat is being produced that is being utilized for geothermal purpose, and also from the radioactive decay in the earth also some heat is being produced that also is utilized for the producing energy. So all this comes under the category of geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is one of an important source of energy as far as humankind is considered. So from geothermal energy we can have two, that is direct energy is thermal energy, and if you convert that into electricity is also possible. So both thermal energy as well as electrical energy can be produced from the geothermal energy source. Another source of energy is the gravitational potential and planetary motion among sun, moon and earth. See, the movement of the tides, wind, everything is based on the attractive force between the planetaries, you see, between sun and moon, like that. So some gravitational potential is some energy is produced due to the gravitational potential and planetary motion among the sun, moon and earth. So that is being utilized for the production of energy. So this can be considered as another important source of energy. And the fourth important source of energy is chemical energy from reactions among mineral sources. So the direct mineral sources available in the earth can be utilized for the chemical reaction. Sometimes energy is being released, that energy can be utilized. So chemical reaction is another source of energy. Now fifth one is fossil fuels. This is an important one, already in use for a very long time. Fossil fuels, energy from the fossil fuels. Fossil fuel is the one of the important energy source as far as India is concerned. And the last one is nuclear energy from nuclear reactions. So this is an important one, but we have to take care while producing the energy. This is a very dangerous one. So nuclear energy from nuclear reactions is another important source of energy. That is the sixth source of energy. If you go through all these 6 sources of energy, you can see that the first 3, 1, 2 and 3, renewable energy is obtained from the first 3 sources. From the sun we can get the renewable energy. From geothermal energy we have the renewable source of energy, we can produce the renewable source of energy, and from the gravitational potential also we can produce the renewable source of energy. See, all these 3 sources are available in plenty and it will not deplete at all. So that is the importance of first 3 sources of energy. Coming into the 4th, 5th and 6th, this will the quantity of these 3 sources will have a depletion based on the consumption. So this comes under the non-renewable energy. 4, 5 and 6 are coming under the non-renewable source of energy. So that is chemical energy, fossil fuel and nuclear energy. All these are non-renewable source of energy. Thank you.